Hey everyone, Chris here, and welcome to my channel. For today's 5 on Friday, I'm going to do another try a chapter video. So once again, I'm still trying to work my way through my 2021 haul, and the last try a chapter tag led me to believe that of the 5 books I picked, only 2 really still interested me after reading the first chapter, so I thought I would give it a go again and try to get through another 5 books on my 2021 backlog. So let me run you through what I'm going to be checking out. I have Chains by Laurie Halse Anderson. I think this is one I'm going to want to continue to read. I've heard good things about it. It's, a National Book Award finalist and a Scott Odell Award for Historic Fiction winner. So it seems like it should be interesting. I have The Pearl in the Attic by Karen McComie, which I think is a middle grade mystery, so we'll see if this intrigues me. I have Little Bee, which I honestly cannot tell you anything about off the top of my head. I've literally had it on my TBR for that long that I look at it and remember nothing about why I got it. I'm pretty sure the only thing I remember is that I took it out of a little free library, so the description must have interested me when I saw it in one, but I don't remember anything about it. Then we have Running, which is a YA contemporary, and I believe it involves a girl whose dad is going to be running for office, but his politics are anti what she believes in, so she has to decide how she wants to handle that, but I'm not 100% sure. And then I have The Dreadful Tale of Prosper Redding by Alexandra Bracken. This is another one where I don't remember anything about it. I'm pretty sure I got it out of a little free library, but the cover makes me want to keep looking at this, and I think I've thought about trying it before or unhauling it without reading it, and just for whatever reason did not pick it up. The reason it hasn't gotten unhauled sight unseen is because of the cover. So we're going to see what I think of these 5. The only one I can confidently state that I think is going to stay is Chains. The other 4 I have no idea about, but if I had to pick one, this would be the one I bet my money on. So we're going to save that one for last, and we're going to start with the last book I mentioned, which was The Dreadful Tale of Prosper Redding, and I will read a little bit of this and get back to you. So I'm back. I've read the first chapter of The Dreadful Tale of Prosper Redding, and I think I'll hang on to this. Not much happens in the first chapter, if I'm being honest. We get to meet our main character and realize that he has seen somebody weird, like out of place, and we don't learn much more about that, although the tale does start with a different POV that kind of gives you an idea that there's more going on. And according to the description, we're going to be following Prosper, who's the only unexceptional person in his family, until he finds out there's a demon living inside him, and his many times removed great-grandfather made and broke a contract with a malefactor, a demon who exchanges fortune for eternal servitude. And the demon's not the forgiving type, so he's going to have to deal with that. So this has an intriguing premise. I didn't hate the writing in the first chapter, and it definitely ends on an interesting note. So I think I will pencil this in for spooky season, since it feels like it's going to have a more spooky vibe, and we will give this one a go. Unless any of you think I should not read this one, based on what you know about my reading taste, because you've read it, because you know it contains something I wouldn't enjoy, I can be swayed. So for now, I'm going to say keep, but I could be convinced to unhaul it. So give me your thoughts. Next, we'll give Running a try and see if I am interested in Mari's story. So I'm back, and I've completed the prologue and first chapter of Running, and this follows Mari, whose dad is hoping to be the GOP nominee for president, and she's not really comfortable with things. At least in the first chapter, we're seeing some, I approve this message videos and things that are being filmed with her and her family, and she's just kind of uncomfortable and isn't enjoying the experience. Her dad has already done some things that have drawn some negative attention towards her in school because she can't hide who she is, and she is struggling with that. It seems like, according to the description, she is going to be dealing with the fact that her father's political positions don't really line up with hers. And it says, she has always known him to be a good, generous man, but maybe he isn't who she thought he was. And confronting him, well, that's not an option. Or is it? This inspiring, authentic, and gorgeously written novel about waking up and speaking up will stay with you long after the last page is turned. This feels like it's going to be very topical to the current times that we're in. I'm torn. Because on the one hand, I think the premise is really, really interesting. And I think if it's well done, it could be very impactful. On the other hand, I don't know how I feel about reading something that is so close to what is going on today when I've been using books as an escape. So I think this is another one where I don't quite know what to do. I'm leaning towards reading it, but I'd love some feedback from you all about what you think. Should I give this book a shot? Should I keep it on my TBR? Because the idea is that all of my 2021 haul books will either be read or unhauled by the end of the year. So I kind of have to make a decision. So what do you all think? Is this maybe one I should return to down the line? Like leave on my to-read pile on Storygraph, but take it off of my shelves, and when I'm ready and in the headspace to read it, I can get it out of the library. That's also an option. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And we will move on to Little Bee, which I know absolutely nothing about, and see how this one sits with me when I get done reading the first chapter. So I'm done with the first chapter of Little Bee, and I'm intrigued. This is definitely one I'm going to keep. It is not one I think I'm going to read right now, but it is one I would like to read. I will say the back says, we don't want to tell you what happens in this book. It is a truly special story, and we don't want to spoil it. Nevertheless, you need to know enough to buy it, so we will just say this. This is the story of two women. Their lives collide one fateful day, and one of them has to make a terrible choice. The kind of choice we hope you never have to face. 2 years later, they meet again. The story starts there. Once you have read it, you'll want to tell your friends about it. When you do, please don't tell them what happens. The magic is in how the story unfolds. So I don't think I'm going to give away any more information because I haven't read it yet, so I don't know if I agree or disagree with the back, but the way the first chapter is written, I'm intrigued. Our main character, at least in the first chapter, because I don't know yet if this is more than one POV, is definitely interesting, and I'm curious about their journey. So I definitely think this is one I'm going to continue to read, which means it is time for me to try my fourth book, The Pearl in the Attic. And we're going to see if this one is also as intriguing as Little Bee. So I have now read the prologue and first chapter of The Pearl in the Attic, and I think I'm going to keep this one. The prologue is set in 1947, and our main POV is Tom, and he has this packet of papers he got from his aunt that she says are a little bit of family history, and his younger brothers end up kind of taking them from him, and they end up in the mud, and he's really upset because his aunt entrusted these papers to him, and by the end of the prologue, he is determined to see what he can salvage so he can read them. And then we go to present day, where we're following Scarlett, who is kind of complaining about school, is supposed to be writing a paper about her family history, but as the only child of an only child, with a dad who's not involved in her life, and a grandmother she's not really close to, doesn't really have much to say. And at the end of the chapter, her mom gets a phone call that leaves her mom shaken, and Scarlett isn't quite sure what to do, and I don't know what the phone call is about. But it looks like Scarlett is going to discover a novel imagining the life of a girl just like her. But as she reads about Ruby's life in Edwardian London, Scarlett begins to realize that Ruby could be real, and that the mystery in the story is still unspooling from the past to the present. And Ruby is a name that was mentioned in Tom's chapter, so I think Ruby is going to be the thing that brings both timelines together. Although whether we get more from Tom, I don't know, but I'm intrigued enough that I would like to find out, and I think I'm going to try to read this in June or July, so I definitely want to continue this one. So very intrigued to see where this one goes, which means it is time for me to check out Chains and see where this lands, given that this is the one I was the most sure I was going to want to keep reading. So I've actually read the first two chapters of Chains, because the first one was only 6 pages, so I'm now on page 12. I thought that it made more sense to give it a little bit more to go off of. And this is set in 1776, and it is following a young girl named Isabel, whose owner has died. And the year before, Isabel's mom had died. And so Isabel is trying to figure out what she is supposed to do with her and her little sister Ruth now that her owner has passed away. And her owner's nephew, Robert, basically says, well, you're coming with me. I'm going to sell you at auction. You should fetch a fair price. And Isabel says, no, 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 no. There's a will. Your aunt was going to set us free. And because the lawyer isn't in town, Robert's word is, well, law. And it looks like they're going to be leaving, and Isabel's got to figure out what to do. I'm assuming that she's not going to be able to prove that she and Ruth are supposed to be free, and is going to have to, hopefully, with Ruth, I hope they stay together, find a way to, survive and deal with the chains they found on themselves. I definitely want to read this one. This is 100% going on my July TBR. I'm very, very curious to see what happens to Isabel and Ruth and where their future takes them. So definitely continuing these two in the near future because they have got me super interested and I want to see where things are going. Plan to continue this one, though not right now because I just don't feel like it's the right book for the headspace I'm in, but I am intrigued. And then I need some help deciding with these two because I'm not sure. So let me know in the comments section below what you think about these two. So that's where I'm at. Is 2 I'm definitely going to read, 1 I am likely going to read, and 2 I'm on the fence about. So not as clear-cut a try a chapter tag as the last one, but still gave me valuable information on 5 books that I potentially need to read before the end of the year. I can see how all of them could be interesting. There's none that I'm like, absolutely not, I'm not interested in this. So a very interesting try a chapter tag. So yes, again, let me know what you think about these two and whether you think I should continue them in the comment section below. All of my social media is linked in the description below if you'd like to come chat with me. If you've made it this far in the video, leave me B emojis for little B. Like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!